Well, let's talk about the Brian Koberger sentencing, which just happened, because I do think there's some interesting stuff in it.
Now you're interested because Donald Trump talked about it. Interesting. No,
one of the people I follow online, Donald Trump, he said that there's a lot of interesting coverage here on the Koberger case. But what do you make of the victim statements? Lots of
first of all, give the TDLR.
Okay,
of what's going on here for
then I'll let Hannah Claire do that.
About this like crime drama stuff and aren't females.
If you're not following this type of case, this case took place in November 2022. It involves the quadruple homicide, a stabbing of 4 college students at an off-campus house just outside the University of Idaho in Moscow, Idaho. It involved 3 girls who lived in the house with 2 other roommates who were in the house the night of the attack but survived. They both gave victim impact statements today, and also one of the other victims was Xana Kernodle's boyfriend, Ethan, who was spending the night at the house. The police basically had this 6-week period where they were looking for a car. It wasn't clear what was going on, and it was a deeply shocking case. And Brian Koberger, who was a PhD student studying criminology at Washington State University, basically like 10 minutes down the road from the other college town, was ultimately arrested at his parents' home in Pennsylvania 6 weeks after the attack in mid-November. He waived his right to a speedy trial, and it's been almost 2.5 years since the case took place. It really caught on with like online sleuth people because it seemed at times like this crime could not make sense.
Well, pretty white girls getting yeeted has always been. I mean, that's why Gabby Petito was so crazy. I mean, these girls were all very good looking.
Right, they're all like in Greek life at this university.
Yeah,
it's not where you think crime would be. Also, he basically online, everyone was like, he looks like a creep and a killer. And he had been studying criminology. He had done his master's. His master's thesis involved reporting on a stabbing case. Obviously, not this one. So, he shocked everyone by taking a plea deal in July, and it was about 8 weeks before they were supposed to go to trial in mid-August. So this was his sentencing, and the big question, 2 things. Some online people were like, he's going to change his plea, something's going to happen, because there was a big belief that if he did do this, he couldn't have done it on his own. The timeline is too short. And the other question was he going to speak? Because without the trial, you don't get an explanation. The roommates who survived called 911 the next morning around 11. And you might think, college students, they get up late. But during discovery, it came out that they had been texting each other, being like, what's going on, around the time of the attacks. And so people were really curious. Like, it just seems like there was something off, something weird. It seems like this very short 10-minute, 15-minute timeline for this one person to attack these 4 people seems crazy. He was apparently spotted by one of the roommates. But anyways, so today we have to hear from victims. It was largely families. One of the roommates, Bethany Mortensen, had a friend read a letter, an impact statement, while the other roommate, Dylan Mortensen, who's the one who in the police reports had apparently spotted a man with bushy eyebrows and a mask in the house that night. She spoke for herself. It's the first time she's ever spoken publicly about the case. And I think for a lot of people, it doesn't feel satisfactory because ultimately, even though he had the opportunity, Koberger said, I respectfully decline when given the chance to address the court. And you could hear people saying like, go to hell and stuff like that.
What do you make of all so basically we didn't get a trial. The families got no closure.
And the families were mixed because there were, 4 victims and a couple of the people involved had like parents who were split up. So there ended up being like 6 different parent figures. Yeah. And, some of them were like, great plea deal. We don't want to have to deal with this. As part of the plea deal, he never gets the chance to appeal, which means that parents don't have to come again and give a victim impact statement, because that's something people talk about. Like if you have someone who's convicted.
Yeah, if they're convicted, they have to go, and then every time there's a plea deal or appeal being made here, that they have to, of course,
relive it.
Yeah, got 4 consecutive life sentences without parole. So I think the family's got some closure here, at least, knowing that this guy's going to be gone forever.
Right. Some of the families, so again, it was split. Some families were like, yes, this is it. Some families were like, we want to hear what happens. This doesn't make sense to us. Part of our grieving process is wanting the answers. I mean, it's one of the reasons I think true crime resonates with people. How can horrible things happen? There's hypothetically the gag orders lifted, and the prosecutors have said they're going to reveal new evidence they would have brought up at trial. But I don't know that it'll ever feel satisfactory to the public or to some of the families.
Yeah. I mean, what do you make of, I mean, somebody clearly coached them on how to hurt him, because they really went after his intelligence. And there was more than one, like one of the moms said, I know you got A's in school, but you're going to be getting a lot of big D's in prison. And like, there was another person. Yeah, here's that.
Quick message from our youngest daughter. Aubrey wanted to say, you may have received A's in high school and college, but you're going to be getting big D's in prison.
Oh, man.
I mean, like,
there was another Steve, one of the dads of K-League Enclave. He said a couple days before, like, you know, he's going to get his in prison, like implying he had put out a hit on Bryan Kohberger.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of belief that like he will not last long in prison.
No shot. I guarantee you he's gone by Christmas. I would put any amount of money on that. And I would even be willing to say, like, before Halloween, he'll be dead.
Yeah, but they'll have him in like protective custody probably.
It doesn't. They had Jeffrey Dahmer in protective custody too. And they got him in like 2 months.
Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein was in protective custody too.
Right, yeah,
So
right,
that's
exactly.
It seems like it's a condemning sentence to be in protective custody at this rate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always interesting hearing victim impact statements. Maddie Mogan, who's one of the victims, her mom and stepdad gave the statement that I found really impactful. You know, they said, we're going to have to grow old without our only child. And her father, who had been in and out of her life because he struggled with addiction, said that she was the greatest thing he'd ever
Kept
done.
him alive. Yeah.
Right. And like that she was the thing that he was most proud of in his life. And now she's gone. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like to outlive your child, and especially to have to wait this long. I think that's some of the frustration the families feel about Kohberger. Like because again, like I was shocked that he took a plea deal. Why fight so hard? Why bring a lawyer that's an expert in DNA testimony onto your defense team, only to last minute be like, I'm going to take a plea? And obviously, he's avoiding the death penalty. That's
why he took it. I mean,
right,
he was cooked.
Like if you were just like, fine, we're going to trial, and then to suddenly be like, and now you don't get answers, it just must be like whiplash.
Well, that's kind of his final FU to the families too. His like, I respectfully decline. This is very common in every high profile case like this. Now Dahmer famously did do that pretty shortly after he did a jailhouse interview where he attempted to try and blame things. John Wayne Gacy also did a jailhouse interview later.
That's
I think
what I'm expecting from Kohberger.
That's what he's going to do. Yeah.
With the woman who oversaw his master's program, because she's a big deal in the crime community, in the criminology community. And she never spoke about it. You went asked about him until after he took the plea deal. And then she did an interview being like, I'd love to, study this. And
right. That made him hard. That's what he wanted. He wanted to do more. I think he wanted to commit more than this one crime. Almost certainly.
That was what the prosecution was leading up to. They talked about the fact that he had there was indications on his joint family Amazon account that well before he moved to Washington, he had ordered a K-bar knife and a balaclava, the mask. And basically, like, you could see that they were teeing up to put on this defense of being like, he is just a psychopath who was always wanting to do this. And I don't know if that's exactly the case. I think one of the problems with this high profile case, the thing that bothered me was like, you got books, you have an Amazon Prime series, Dateline had leaked information. I mean, everyone convicted him immediately. Now that he's taken the plea, it seems like, okay, so he's guilty. But before, it bothered me that it was like, worldwide, nationwide conviction before we had gone to trial, which obviously goes against the idea of innocent until proven guilty. And a lot of it was based on speculation. They'd be like, we talked to one person who went to high school with him and said that he was kind of quiet. So therefore you can infer he's a psycho. Like,
right.
That's not how this should work. But again, I encourage everyone to listen to the victim impact statements. It's really heartbreaking to hear what those families had to go through.
Yeah, at least 2 or 3 of them made either direct or indirect, basically like prison struggle snuggle references.
Yeah.
I sent you a clip of the 4-minute one where they kind of go off on him.
Yeah, I'll bring that
up.
up.
The sisters went off really intensely.
She is going to be a star. She's like pretty. She had like a pretty bold statement. She'll be on like 60 Minutes. Before I'm gonna end that like kind of the YouTube segment there. Well, wait, I'll just play it. Whatever, who cares? I know there's some like NSFW stuff in it. Yeah, I'll let it ride. Yeah, Kaylee, she did really, really good.
Kaylee's sister, yeah.
Yeah. Olivia, yeah.
If you were really smart, do you think you'd be here right now? What's it like?
This is a girl that has definitely like broke a few guys' hearts. Like she knows exactly what's going to hurt them.
Attention just to feel real.
To prep for this.
Yeah, that's true.
You're terrified of being ordinary, aren't you? Do you feel anything at all? Or are you exactly what you always
I think
feared?
they give these people
nothing.
Like Ambien or something.
You're so powerful, then why are you still hiding,
disassociated?
You see, I'm here today as me. But who are you? Let's try to take off your mask and see.
That he kept eye contact or he kept looking.
You didn't create devastation.
Yeah.
You revealed.
Did you see he had a little drawing of a heart next to him too? Like he had a little drawing of a heart next to him that he put, but he never looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's in yourself. And that darkness you carry, that emptiness, you'll sit with it long after this is over. That is your sentence. And it was written on the wall long before you ever pled guilty. You didn't win. You just exposed yourself as the coward you are. You're a delusional, pathetic, hypochondriac loser.
I don't know where the hypochondriac thing came from.
He's like known for being like,
oh, is it germaphobe? I think, right?
Yeah, kind of. And he's got what I would think from afar are kind of obsessive tendencies, like cleaning, or he's like very strict about his diet. He's a former addict. He was addicted to heroin, so some of the compulsive behavior is thought to be part of his personality issues.
I'm almost certain that
he got diagnosed with autism, and that was one of the things his defense argued for why he shouldn't have to face the death penalty. That's like 65% of the people in America. It would have been a crazy precedent to set if they had accepted it.
Who thought you?
Yeah, I thought her mother's was better. Was it this one?
Lurking in the shadows made you feel powerful.
This is the better part of hers.
Any attention in the light. You thought you were exceptional, all because of a grade on a paper. You thought you were elite because your online IQ test from 2010 told you so. All of that effort just to seem important. It's desperate. There is a name for your condition, though. Your inflated ego just didn't allow you to see it. Wannabe. You act like no one could ever understand your mind, but the truth is you're basic. You're a textbook case of insecurity disguised as control. Your patterns are predictable. Your motives are shallow. You are not profound. You're pathetic. You aren't special or deep. Not
someone's gonna pay her to be a dominatrix or something one day, like somebody who's in like Findom. The
truth is.
And then one of them called him a pedo, which was kind of weird.
Well, they said like you attack them in their sleep like a pedo, which I didn't think made total sense, but
no.
There was a big push through all
Well,
of the
I'd like
reporting
to-
on this case to say there was like a sexual motivation. But when the plea deal came in, the prosecution went out of their way to say there was no evidence that this was a sexually motivated crime.
Well, the interesting thing, I had a theory about the pedo jacketing. If somebody was really devious, they might want to pedo jacket him before he goes into prison.
That makes sense.